class. Today I will be teaching on the topic breast infection, or also called as mastitis. So let's start with the definition. Mastitis, it is an acute inflammation of the interlobular connective tissue within the mammary gland. Okay, so if there's any infection or inflammation in the connective tissues, okay, of the lobes which are present within the mammary glands, then this is called mastitis, or called as also known as breast infection. So what are the predisposing factors of mastitis? First is if there's any damaged nipple, or if there's any cut or tears or ulcers in the nipple, then that can that can be one of the predisposing factor or triggering factor for mastitis. Next is primiparity. Okay, next, previous history of mastitis. Third, fourth, maternal or neonatal illness, or if a pregnant mother is suffering from diabetes or any autoimmune disease condition, then she also can be a predisposing factor for mastitis. Then maternal stress, work outside the home, any trauma to the breast, and it can be genetic. Okay, hereditary, if the disease condition can be passed from one family member to the other family member. So it is genetic also. Now mastitis is being classified based on the etiology. Okay, that is infectious, non-infectious, milk stasis, and abscess formation. So based on the etiology, like what are the causes of mastitis or breast infection? It is categorized, okay, into infectious, then it can be non-infectious, which is not related to any pathogen or microorganism. Milk stasis मतलब stagnant या मतलब constant collection of milk. Okay, so this is called milk stasis, मतलब इकट्ठा हो जाते हैं milk, and it is not flowing out through the nipple for breastfeeding. So that is milk stasis. And last is abscess formation, because of any pus collection also. Okay, so that is these are the etiologies. So let us see first with the infectious. The most common microorganism or pathogen is Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, so this is the main bacteria which causes mastitis, and sometimes Streptococcus is also detected. Okay, Streptococcus can also be one of the cause for infectious mastitis. Next, non-infectious causes like carcinoma. Okay, if there's any breast cancer which is present, then that can also lead to infection. Hyperplasia of the cells, okay, increase in the number of the cells, and if there's any obstruction in the ducts, okay, the milk ducts, if there's any obstruction, then the milk will not be able to able to be produced and flow out through the nipple. Then there will be constant milk collection, इकट्ठा हो जाते हैं, and milk is one of the milk is one of the triggering factor for infection. Okay, so these are non-infectious causes. Next is the breast abscess. Breast abscess is a collection of pus that develops in the breast. So that can also is one of the etiology for mastitis. And next is milk stasis. Stagnant milk increases the pressure in the breast, leading to leakage in the surrounding breast tissue. And milk itself it causes an inflammatory response. So if there's any milk collection, okay, which is not able to flow out, so that milk is being collected in one area, and because of the collection of the milk, it will cause a pressure. It will put pressure on the breast tissues. Therefore, therefore the milk will, because of the pressure, therefore the milk will try to come out or to leak out into the surrounding breast tissues, and milk itself is an inflammatory response. Okay, is one of the triggering factor for inflammation. So therefore there can be chances for infection. Milk provides a good medium for bacterial growth. So if there's any milk collection, then bacteria can they have high chances for its growth. So milk stasis also is one of the important etiology or cause for breast infection. Now classification based on the type. So we are done with the classification based on etiology. Now coming to the types. So there are two types. One is puerperal mastitis and non-puerperal mastitis. Puerperal matlab something related to pregnant or pregnancy. Okay. So there are two types: puerperal mastitis relating to pregnancy and non-puerperal mastitis, which is not relating to any pregnancy. Okay. So let us say puerperal mastitis. It is the inflammation of the breast in connection with the pregnancy and breastfeeding. Okay. So pregnant mothers, okay, if their milk is not able to come out from the nipple for breastfeeding, then there will be collection of milk stasis, and that can lead to infection. Okay, and any blockage in the milk ducts also. Okay, so that can also be one of the cause for breast infection. So this is puerperal mastitis. Then non-puerperal mastitis, which is not related to any pregnancy and breastfeeding. For example, breast cancer or any tear in the nipple or any ulcers formation in the nipples, okay, or in the areola. So that can lead to non-puerperal mastitis. So coming to the signs and symptoms of breast infection or mastitis, one is breast tenderness or warm to touch. Okay, then patient may be having general malaise, weakness, not feeling well, feeling ill. Then swelling of the breast can occur, pain or burning sensation continuously while breastfeeding. Okay, so even not breastfeeding while not breastfeeding the baby, the patient can have pain or burning sensation, and even while breastfeeding also patient will be having pain and burning sensation in the breast. Then the skin color of the breast also will be changed, that will be red in color. Then patient will have fever because of infection, and there can be a lump or any swelling in the breast. So these are the clinical features of breast infection or mastitis. So there are two stages of breast infection. One is the cellulitic stages, that is the infection of the epidermal or the superficial layers of the skin. Okay, of the and this is not this is not the advanced stage. This is just the pre-advanced stage. Okay, so cellulitic stages in which the breast as a whole becomes red and extremely painful. Okay, and coming to the advanced stage, that is the abscess stage. When the abscess develops, redness becomes limited to the area of abscess formation. So the more advanced stage, okay, if proper treatment is not being taken place for taken for breast infection, then there can be chances for pus collection formation, that is breast abscess. Now coming to the diagnostic test, first is the physical examination, second is the ultrasound, okay, where a clear image of the breast can be identified, where it can show the pus collection and the level of infection. Then blood culture to detect whether Staphylococcus aureus or Streptococcus aureus is one of the main cause. It can also detect the presence of group A and group B beta hemolytic streptococci, E. coli, H. influenza, MRSA, fungal infection, or to check whether there is TB. Okay, because you know that tuberculosis also, it spreads to the other parts of the body, and tuberculosis, the Mycobacterium tuberculi, okay, it spreads mainly to the breast, the lungs, liver, the bones, brain, okay, and the skin. So there can be chances that this breast infection is because of tuberculosis. Okay, so we have to check for the presence of Mycobacterium tuberculi. Then we can also perform mammograms and breast biopsies to see if there's any cancer present or any tumor which is present, or to check for the infection process. Now coming to the treatment. So we have the supportive treatment, like patient we have to give breast, IV fluids to be given, analgesics in case of pain, anti-inflammatory agents like dexamethasone or corticosteroids can be given to the patient so that the inflammatory process will be reduced. Then lactation mastitis. In case of lactation mastitis, like in case of puerperal mastitis, that is while breastfeeding. Okay, so we have to encourage the mother to frequently empty the breast. Okay, the breast milk, so that there will be no collection of breast that can lead to breast infection. Then for breastfeeding women with light mastitis, massage and application of hot compress, okay, or hot compress can be given to the mother's, can be provided to the mother's breast, so that the milk, the milk production will be more, and there will be frequent emptying of the milk from the nipple. Okay, however, in case of severe mastitis, then we avoid hot compresses, or we avoid massages, because it can lead to severe complications. So only in starting phases of mastitis where we can give massage and hot compress. Then infectious mastitis, we will give antibiotics, okay, like diclofenac or cephalexin. They are recommended so that they will reduce the infection, and we give antibiotic for the period of 10 to 14 days. Okay, normally we usually give antibiotics for how many days? 7 days, but we will because it is a highly infectious disease condition, therefore we will give for 10 to 14 days. Then in case of abscess, if there's any abscess or pus collection, then it should be treated with ultrasound guided fine needle aspiration, where we will aspirate the pus collection with the help of using a fine needle and with the help of ultrasound at the same time. Or we can also use surgical incision and drainage, means that we will, wherever the infected breast is present, then there we will make an incision, or we make an surgical cut, and we will drain out the pus collection. Okay, so that is incision and drainage. In case of puerperal breast abscess, breastfeeding from the affected breast should be continued wherever possible. So in cases of if the mother is pregnant then and she is having infection, then we will encourage her to continue with breastfeeding. So these are some of the treatment for mastitis. So I hope this is clear about breast infection or mastitis. So thank you, class.